Swadika, welcome to Thailand Today here on NBT World. Mental Health Department Director General Dr. Kietipu Bongrajit said on February 20th, 2019, the reporting of suicide had recently been more frequent, especially those committed by burning charcoal. Dr. Kietipu said on some people being repeatedly exposed to file details of such suicide methods and pictures in the media might resort to attempting to kill themselves in the same way. He said the department's Suicide Prevention Center reported that charcoal burning suicide, a method more popular among men, accounted for 0.1% of all suicide cases in Thailand from 1997 to 2017. Dr. Kritipu praised that for the media's cooperation in doing their bit to prevent more suicides, especially those using identical methods, and urged the media to be mindful of the danger when publishing reports of suicides and avoid going into too much detail or providing graphic images. He also suggested that people be alert for friends and family who exhibit any signs of depression, sadness, insomnia, negative views, or any else implying they were having suicide thoughts in what they said or posted on social media. He said if you notice such signs, please talk to the person, offer your help and encouragement to him or her, invite him or her to take part in activities outside, or seek help from public health facilities or the mental health hotline 1323 or the department's smartphone application for suicide prevention, namely Sabaichai. Dr. Mathurada Suwarnapo, Director of Child and Adolescent Mental Health, Rajanakarin Institute, said analyzed multiple studies of the online phenomenon have shown that cyberbullying on social media is linked to depression in teenagers. Since online sites became part of daily life, researchers found that they contribute to mental health problems, adding more evidence to the theory of a connection between social media use and depression. Victimization of young people online has received an increasing level of security, particularly after a series of high-profile suicides of teenagers who were reportedly bullied on various social networks. Some research also found that more cyberbullying a teen experienced, the more severe his or her symptoms of depression. For teenagers who rely on social media for modern interactions with peers and even strangers, some of these interactions may be unpleasant in the nature. Cyberbullying or the use of electronic communications or the purpose of harassing others can sadly cause teenagers to feel down and even develop depression. Professor Emeritus Piyasakul Satyathon, Minister of Public Health, visited Sithanya Hospital on January 9, 2019 to preside over an opening ceremony of a special medical clinic, SMC, as an option for the general public to access the mental health services. Dr. Piyasakul said at a press conference that the SMC is in line with the Public Health Ministry policy to encourage hospitals under the ministry's supervision to apply digital technology in service management to become smart hospital. The minister said Sithanya Hospital has a potential and a readiness to open a pilot special medical clinic in mental health and psychiatric services since its operation in October 2018. Outpatients at the SMC has risen to 81.30%, and more than 75.30% of visitors are satisfied with this service because it could reduce waiting time and very convenient. Following a significant number of recent charcoal burning suicides in Thailand, the Public Health Ministry's Mental Health Department is urging the media to avoid giving too much details of how the death occurred, out of fear that such reports could lead to copycat death. So next break, we will talk about how depression can lead to copycat societies, particularly in the era of social media. Coming back after a short break.
In 2019, Thailand is ready for ASEAN chairmanship, working together and building solidarity to increase competitiveness and innovation with the people at the center. All sectors are ready to promote unity of the ASEAN community. NBT World is excited to be a full supporter of the Thai ASEAN chairmanship. Keep up to date on ASEAN 2019 movement with NBT World.
Welcome back to Thailand Today here on NBT World. Today, Dr. Varot Chod Pitiyasunon, spokesman of the Department of Mental Health under the Ministry of Public Health, will discuss with us how depression can lead to copycat suicides, particularly in the era of social media. Sawadee ka.
Sawadee krap.
Well, welcome to Thailand Today program.
Thank you very much.
Well, doctor,
Yes.
to my experience, and at this age, well, what's happened to Thai people who've been so daring to commit suicide? I had hardly heard about this before, Recently, what happened actually?
Okay. We need to talk about the global trend first. Right now, if we focus on the outside of our countries,
Yes.
and we see the picture of the world, right now the number of suicide cases is increasing year by year.
Exactly.
Every year,
Oh,
it's approximately 12 cases per 100,000 populations per year.
that is huge.
This is quite huge, and it's
Wow.
increasing. So right now we come back to Thailand. Thailand got like a half of that number, around 6 people per 100-person population per year. So, but we cannot stop the global trend, because right now you have to understand that the society right now is more difficult to live than the past time. About the urbanization, people live in more urban part of the countries. There's many competition,
Sad.
many stress happen during the day. So people in this generation must face lots of stress in their daily life. So it's quite difficult to cope themselves to solve this problem and the changing world.
But why just the visual, just looking, and the what you call the guts
The guts.
arose it so easily?
I,
Maybe too much to bear.
in my opinion, I think the guts or the resilience of young people right now is not really different. It's not significant difference from the people from the past time. But we need to understand the society right now. There's so much difference. In past 20 years, we didn't have any social media at all. But right now, social media is a part. It's another organ of our body. Another organ of our body.
Exactly.
So people need to check social media all the time. And sometimes when we read something in the social media, we find bad part of the society. We find the very bad news. Sometimes it's fake news. We compare ourselves to other people in the social media. We compare our stature, our skin color, our face to other people. We
Yeah.
also compare the economic status of us to other people. So this one can give more stress to the people in this generation.
So it goes into under the so-called depression.
Yes.
So what is actually is it?
Okay. Why we all can feel sad, moody, or feel low from time to time, there's still some specific symptoms, which is called depression. Depression is more than just a low mood. Depression is a serious medical illness that can affect your feeling, the way you think, the way you act, and it's also treatable. Luckily, it's also treatable.
Treatable,
But
thank God.
but depression can feel like sadness, loss of interest, and it happened for a long time, and it overwhelm yourself, which lead you to doing poor job, poor in academic, something like that.
Is it chemical? Something to do with internal
Yes.
chemical or what?
Yes.
Sad. Everybody's sad.
Yes.
But
Everybody can feel
to
sad.
go that attempt that much is
Yes, everybody can feel sad, but sometimes your chemical in your brain sometimes it release too much.
extreme.
When you got extreme when you exposure to some extreme stress, sometimes your brain function differently. Sometimes they release some neurochemical too much to feel sometimes, and it change the way you think. If you're lucky enough, so it can reset itself back to the normal state. But if you're not that lucky, sometimes it stay with you for a longer period, like 2 weeks, and it turn yourself to have a depression.
But we are still lucky to hear from doctor that this can be cured.
Yeah, it's
More or less, you can be cured. So whatever things happening to you, you may, think about twice to do so, or go to a doctor.
yes.
So what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms of depression?
Okay. Depressions can vary from the mild symptoms to severe symptoms, but usually when we talk about the depression, it's represents major depressive disorder, which is one of the mental disorder. So for the major depressive disorder, or so-called MDD, so when you got MDD, you need to have 5 from 9 symptoms. It starts from change in your appetite. Sometimes you eat too few or eat too much. The second one is trouble sleeping, sleep too much or sleep less. Feel fatigueness or loss of motivation, lack of interest, lack of attention, feel slow movement or some appropriate movement, feel fatigue and slow in the movement, slow in thought, also having a suicide ideation if you got a suicide idea, and the last one, the most important, depressed mood. You have depressed mood, which all the symptoms 5 from 9 stay with you for all days, last long for 2 weeks, and disturb your function. Function, I mean like working, studying, relationship, your family. So if it's last long than 2 weeks, so it means that you are facing with major depressive disorder.
So that's people can notice for that, right? So what are the common causes?
So right now we don't know exactly what is the cause of the depressions. It can be varied from just psychological factors, biological factors, environmental factors. But we believe that every depression has some triggers. It can be one trigger. It can be many triggers in their life. It can be a recent life event, some change in recent life event, just like you're losing the job.
There must be cause. There must be. There must
Yes.
somehow, somewhere.
Yes, there must be some trigger.
Trigger that
But
you say.
okay, some people don't have any triggers. But
Really?
most of them have a triggers, like losing the job, losing the loved one, fighting with their family members, got a bad grade in academic, or stress from the examination. This is a recent life event that can come. And also you have to look at the long-term events. Some people stay in a very hostile environment. Some people stay in a very aggressive family. Sometimes they stay in a very bad condition of their living atmosphere. So this is a long-term event. So you got many triggers happen with you, and you still have the risk factors behind you. This one is very important as well.
So is there any ones must help themselves to release from that, to run away from that particular feeling? Is it so difficult to do so?
Yes, this we can call risk factor as well. Risk factor can be anything, many things. First is your character, it's your personality. If you got a very flexible personality, so you can deal with stress, you can release the stress. Even you got like 5-10 stress at the same time. I don't care. I just want to focus on this. I just leave it alone. Let it
So that
solve
particular
by
person
themselves.
can develop themselves.
Yes.
Not all.
Not all. So it's a risk factor if you don't have this kind of ability. So even the very small triggers, even a very small event come to you, maybe you cannot solve. You think it's a very big problem. Even everyone says it's not a big problem, but you say it's a big problem, and it's no solution for this one. So it will lead you to turn to be to have a depressive symptoms, or it turn yourself to commit your suicide as well. This is just only one risk factor. We also know about more risk factor like genetics. Like depression can run in your families.
Really?
Yes. Sometimes if you parents or your twins have a depression, you got more risk to have a depression as well. So it also related to biological part. Like if you have a problem with your brain, you got accidents before, so this can lead to depression as well. And the last one, which we usually overlook, it's about the drugs. Sometimes drug and substance can lead to mental illness and also lead to suicide problems as well.
That is, I think, not only less, but it's the main part of it.
Yes.
Yeah, because you cannot control. You are intoxicated.
No, you cannot.
You intoxicate by that particular drug.
Because you cannot control it, but it's not a single risk factors. Every time it's many factors, especially people who use drugs. Sometimes they got many problems about their environment, their character sometimes. So they move themselves to the circle of drugs use, drug abuse, something like that. So this one is very complicated. It's not a single risk factors in any kind of mental illness or suicide problem.
Can you give some example that people are deep into that as per your experience? You must be a lot of experience to meet with such a thing. Because is there any got into it and they got out and fresh become the happy life a person like?
Yes, it's possible. It's possible if. Once in a lifetime, someone say like once in a lifetime, you got around 25% to have one episode of depression.
Each one, including us?
Yes, including
Really?
including everyone.
Everyone, no.
Yes, we have.
It's already there, 25%.
Yeah, it's already there because stress is your friend.
Stress is your
They're
friend.
always there
Would like to have this friend.
beside you. Right? You cannot get rid of him.
Of course.
You cannot prevent him to come to you. So everyone got a risk of depression. But some people, when they receive a very good advice or they receive an appropriate treatment, sometimes they can release the depression symptoms. They can cure. They can even help other people who got depression in their families. And this is very important about the accessibility to medical treatment. If you got a very good accessibility to psychiatric treatment, you got more chance to be better in the symptoms.
How about in Thailand, sir? Doctor, the treatment, the way we handle this kind of patient, is it sufficient? It is good enough? Or
In Thailand right now, I think it's much better than last 20 years or last 10 years. Because if you look at the accessibility percentage of the people who treat the depression right now, 10 years ago it's around like 40% of Thai people who got depression and can have an access to the treatment. But right now it's more than 50%, sometimes come to 55%. Maybe it's because of we run the policy to increase the accessibility. We make people to have more mental health literacy. People understand how to solve this problem. People understand there's the help is over there. The help is over there. They can just walk, bring themselves to medical workers and talk to them about depression. And the most important thing is we receive many help from media, from people in Thailand to decrease the stigmatization of the mental illness. Right now, if you look at 20 years ago, when you talk that you have depressions, people are like,
be gone.
You're crazy.
Run away.
Yeah, you're crazy. You're lunatic, something like that. But right now, it's so different.
And that time is gone. Gone is gone. I mean, once you got it, you're already. There's no way to become back to normal.
Yes.
But this time.
Yes, this time we improve in our treatment, we improve in our programs, not only the medication, but it also the psychological program after that. We also improve our follow-up program. So right now people think depression is something normal, like normal illness that can happen to every people. And talking to the psychiatrist is not weird anymore. Some people think it's quite cool to talk with the psychiatrist. Okay, I got my own shrink. I got my own consultant. So it's not look bad anymore right now. So this increased the number of people who can receive the good treatment from the medical system.
If one obsessed or controlled by the depression already,
yes,
once talking to the psychiatrist, it's work really.
Yes.
He or she,
Psychiatrists work in many parts. The first one we work with prevention.
Okay.
So before
they have stages.
Yes, before they come to see you in the hospital, you have to go and prevent first. You give the knowledge first.
Steps of doing
so sometimes they don't have to come to see the psychiatrist. They can release their stress. They can solve some problem on their own. or their family member can treat. Okay, if you want to see the psychiatrist, the first thing that psychiatrist will do is taking your history, taking you about everything to look holistically that what is the problem in yourself. We don't just like give the medication and you
right
go
away.
back home. No, it's not work that way. We talk to you maybe half an hour, to find what is the problem, what is the environment you're living in, and okay, yes, with many cases we treat with medication, and we also treat with the psychological intervention as well. Sometimes it's called CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy, so they can change the way they think. The patient can change the way they think, the way they deal with the stress inside their life, because it's very important not just only treat this moment, but prevent the relapse of depression in the future.
That's a risk factor, right? So what are the risk factor again?
The risk factors can be many things. Like I said, it's about genetics that can run in your families. It's about your personality.
How many percent of genetic?
Genetics, someone said, is if you have one identical twin and your identical twin got depression, so you got around 70% to have depression as well. So this one is quite passed to the family members as well. Also the personality. Okay. Environmental factors. If you stay in very hostile environment, very bad, no support at all in your environment, you got a risk. And also sometimes you got serious medical illness. This one, sometimes if you got something like very difficult to treat or untreatable in some person,
you feel down
and it stay with you all the time. You cannot solve this problem. No one can solve this problem. So sometimes this one can lead to the major depressive disorder as well.
Got it. Yeah. So how can social media come to us now to cause the depression? People blame that media doing so, part of it. Okay.
Yes. Social media can send both direct effect and indirect effect. So first, I need to talk the direct effect first. But we need to know the functionality of social media first. What social media can do to the people. Okay, first, they can give us the conversation, right? So you can talk with your friend, you can talk with your families, you can talk with other people. But the problem of the conversation, sometimes you got misinformation. You got some very bad, very sad conversation, or the very, very inappropriate conversation, and you feel sad about it. You feel depressed about this kind of conversation. Because you have conversation, it means that you got a chance to fight with them as well, right? So this is the first function of social media. The second one is about sharing.
Okay.
Sharing, so you can share any content, anything in the social media, right? But sometimes when you share it, you got a very negative feedback. Or you post something and people around you don't agree with you. They share your status, and you will be witch hunt. Sometimes some people is a witch hunter. So you post something that don't agree with them, so they share your post and they got witch hunt. So this is very complicated, but it's real. And also sometimes it's about your present, because some people, like, I want to show my picture to travel, to have my vacation on the sea or something like that, and people talk to you that you should work. Everyone works. Everyone work is working. Why do you go for fun? Everyone's working now. So this can give you a depression as well. Social media can give you a relationship, and it's mean that it can give you a bad relationship as well. It can break your relationship as well. Jealous, envy, it's happened a lot in any social media. And also the reputation. Like myself, I'm a spokesman. I cannot present myself with some kind of partying, alcohol, something like that. And if I got a picture of that, I got a really bad reputation. So people will blame me and can turn to depression. And the last two is about groups.
We're going to come back, Doctor,
Yes.
for this, because we have more another part. So we are coming back to the end of the first part of the interview. So Dr. Warot Shilti Pitiyasunon will tell us more details on the issue of copycat suicide. Please stay tuned.
Show Thai to the world, a concept of science-style program to introduce you to well-known Thai role models. Ultimate amazing tourist attractions. innovative Thai products. Let's proudly join Siam styles from 4 regions, 77 provinces across Thailand. Good foods. Good life. The land of smiles. This is Thailand. My home, your home. Our home, our country, stronger together.
Welcome back once again to our program. So we'll discuss further on this important issues. We did left about the function of social media, Doctor.
Yes.
Please continue.
The last two is about groups. You find your groups in the social media systems. Sometimes you feel that you belong to some groups, but sometimes this group can kick you out, and you feel that you are out group already. So this can lead to the depression symptom as well. And the last one is your identity, because you present yourself via the social media, and sometimes this identity can be exploited, maybe by yourself or someone that don't want you to look good as well. This is the direct cause from the social media. For the indirect cause, we got so many reasons that it can send the direct effect to the depression, such as Facebook. Sometimes it can lead to envy, feeling of envy, jealousy, and it can lead to depression. One of the very important things is about your sleep hygiene. There's a research of 100,000 people that show that when you use too much Facebook, you get poor sleep hygiene, which we already know that poor sleep hygiene can lead to depression, bipolar disorder, even suicide. And the last one, if you talk about the kids, adolescents, we found that if the more you use the social media, the more you got a more chance in being bullied by other people.
But who will allow you to do so? I mean, you just get away from that. You're being bullied. That means they got into a closer inner between each other. But if it is in public, you just cannot do it, right?
Sometimes because social media is quite public.
Yes,
sometimes someone, they don't have to know you to online bullying you.
Okay.
Sometimes they can just, I just don't like this guy. I want to bully him. I just post some comment that bad to you, and you feel very depressed. This can happen as well.
So, what can one do for that? Can care to hoots? So, is there any doctrine or something to say to teach a person who just, I don't care? Is there anything like that? Because once you are obsessed by that, you don't have the feeling of no, I don't care, whatever happened.
It's very difficult because this is already a part of your life already. So only one way is just stop receiving. Just stop receiving it first. You close all the social media accounts, so you stop receiving this kind of message to you, bad message. And if you still feel that something strange in yourself, you can come and talk to the psychiatrist as well.
You can do that because there's someone there, especially in Thailand. You can see when something happening.
Yes.
We tend to send a batch of doctor or psychiatrist to the particular family or something. I feel good that Thailand has changed a lot.
Yes.
I've been caring to each other more than before.
Definitely.
To help them. So that's a good thing. So how can coverage of suicide in the media trigger copycat suicide in the mass public?
Okay. Copycat suicide, sometimes we call suicide contagion, cluster suicide. This happen a lot in our world right now. So because sometimes when media talk about the information of the suicide, they send the effect called Werther effect. Werther effect is psychological effect that sometimes they give too much information about the background of this suicide, the reason why someone suicide, or the information details the method of suicide. Imagine if I am someone who got a very bad grade in the school, and I read some news about someone got the same grade as mine, and he suicide. So I can feel that maybe this is a solution of solving the problem. So if sometimes we focus too much on the information, on the details, rather than we give the prevention in the news, sometimes you will see the increasing number of people at the same age, at the same occupation, increase in the suicidal risk. And this is called the Werther effect.
But sometimes as a young kids in school have been bullying.
Yes.
That you think that also originated the problem of a child when they grow up?
Yes, bullying or online bullying is one of the major problems that we concern. Yes, or school bullying, we concern this, but because this kind is also a kind of violence. It's not just a physical violence or verbal violence, it's also a social violence as well. So this violence is a major risk factor of suicide as well. And if you present too much about the way they're being bullied or information about the story of bullying, sometimes people who stay in the same situation, I was bullied before like that, so they will think that maybe suicide or doing some aggressive behavior back to retaliate someone back is an appropriate one. So we have to aware that every message we send to our society, it can cause this effect because people will read it and think that it's the way of the solving the problem.
Your advice to help prevent copycat is the copy someone action,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Copying someone action or incidents or whatever, which they think that the effect will be positive.
Yes.
If I do that, if I committed suicide, my parent will be sad. This is a snubbing, like a kind of a snubbing someone. Is that so, sir?
Yes. First, I have to thank the media because if every media don't present about the suicide, so it cannot prevent the suicide in the future as well.
It is so.
It is, but everything has two sides. Everything has two sides. So we have to focus on the risk of reporting some information. But if every media, not only media, but because everyone right now is the media as well, we can share information. We can write some microblog.
Civilian media now.
Yes. So I mean, everyone
have a right.
can help this as well. It's called Papageno effect. Papageno effect is the way we treat the society, the way we release the news, we pass the news, and help to decrease the number of suicide, decrease the risk, because we try to add the information about the prevention of the suicide. We add the options of help in the news. So when people read, okay, they start reading first, okay, someone will lose someone, happen like this. But in next 3 paragraphs, there are also many information about the help, many information about how can you have an awareness of yourself, how can you treat, or there's a help out there. So when they read it, they can go to the help. And this can decrease the depression and also the suicide as a whole.
So the proper way to do that. What possible options of treatment or depression that can lead to suicides?
Okay, there's no
such particular, right? I mean,
yes,
you cannot pin down.
It's different from everyone. You cannot say that this work for this one is gonna work for other people, right? But the first thing is you need to have awareness of yourself first. You need to know, okay, this is normal me. This is not normal me. You need to have this first, because you cannot tell or seeking any help if you don't know that you are not so normal now. So you check your emotion frequently, you check your feeling, you check your thought.
How to check?
It's just you know yourself right now. What are you feeling now? You sad now, and you look back. You sad for already 2 weeks. So normally
the length is so important.
The length is also important. The intensity is also important. You can be sad. This kind of problem can make everyone sad. But you sad and you feel and you think about suicide. So this is normal you. So you have to know yourself first. When you know yourself and you feel that, okay, it's not normal me anymore, you can start seeking for the help. You can talk to other people, and other people can maybe give you a suggestion, or they can support you, bring you to the hospital or medical workers. If you are not the person who feel depressed, but it's someone beside you, you also need to have an awareness of other people as well.
You because get the ray of that.
yes, because sometimes you know, like if you have a son or daughter, you know that what is normal, what is my normal son or normal daughter.
You be living together,
and if you can see the change in their behavior or their feeling, or they talk to you, they send some sign or signal that they don't want to live anymore. They give up their precious thing, something they love. They talk like, I'm not going to stay here anymore, thank you for everything, or writing some will. So you need to know that this is a sign of the suicide. So you have to know this first, and when you go there, the first thing, don't blame them. Don't blame them. You have to listen first. Sometimes because you think about yourself that, oh, this is just a very small thing. Why you cannot solve that? You should solve that.
Normally we do that.
Right.
We think, why should
But we are different. We are different person. We don't judge someone because their life is different from our life. Their brain is different from our brain. So ask them, listen to them. The way we ask other people that, do you have suicide idea? It's good. It's not bad. It's not going to increase the risk of suicide.
Oh, really?
You can ask them. And sometimes it gives them the feeling of that someone care. Someone care about you. And they want to help. And the active listening, this called active listening. The active listening, so many percent can solve the suicide idea. So when you have active listening, so they trust you, you can bring them to the hospital.
At presently, as per your statistic, is it decrease or increase?
The global statistic right now is increasing, but in Thailand it's absolutely everywhere in the world is increasing. But the rate of increasing in Thailand is quite slow. So we work really hard at the Department of Mental Health. We work really hard, but we work against the tide because the flow of the suicide rate now in the world is increasing. So we work against the tide. We work against the stress, pressure in the society right now. But we work really hard to decrease this number. And future, we hope that if everyone, not only Department of Mental Health, we are quite small department. So we need everyone. We need media. We need every people in Thailand to come and help us, to talk to the person beside you, to check the feeling, emotion, and check for yourself. And just want to know that there's a help out there. There's a help here. You can come, you can talk. You can even call the hotline of Department of Mental Health. We have a hotline, 1323. 1323 in Thailand. You can call it for 24 hours as well. Or you can go to the hospital. Right now we got not almost every province right now got psychiatrists already. So you can go and talk to them.
Very good. That's very good. So can you update? That's why I did ask you about the situation of depression, particularly rapid development of social networking site. We did talk about that already, but how about when we see something in the media, the picture being shown, or even they blurred it,
Yes.
but still there.
Yes.
So we need the media to do something out of it.
Yes, I wish because I understand the situation of the media right now. It's not a very good business like decades ago. You got many competition between the media. Sometimes you want to have more participants or more recipients who listen to you, and sometimes we look over some very important part.
Exactly.
I think
Society.
the most important thing is when you present something in the media about suicide or depression, you need to set the goal in your mind first. Not only in the media, but everyone who share the content, you have to set the goal in your mind. And the first goal need to be, how can I release this information? How can I pass this information to other people and help them stop thinking about suicide, or help them access to the suicide program or any help any treatment. So if we can focus this first, the content that we release or the content that we write, it can go to the direct way, to the right way, that finally it will turn to have a Papageno effect, so it can decrease the number of suicide overall.
Listening to you, you heavy at heart. Are you worrying about this, or are you heavy at heart with the growing or what the handling of it?
It's very difficult because as a department of mental health, we work a lot about the clinical, about the prevention, promotion. But sometimes it's very difficult to stop some news or stop some people to sharing the news, even their truth. A right news or a fake news, it's very difficult to control that. So it's the reason why I ask everyone to help. This is our society.
Please.
This is our society. We all respond for the society together. So we need to act now. The number of suicide is increasing, and I beg for everyone to help us, because we are Thai people. We should help together.
Exactly. Yeah, so I really wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you very
For your
much.
undertaking. A lot of work to be done.
Yes.
Right?
Very happy to do that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We are ending up our program with thanks to Dr. Warod Shoti Pitaya Sunun. Thank you for being here, and
Thank you
we're
very
looking
much.
forward to see you again.
Really appreciate it.
ค่ะ
Copycat.
We wrap our program with thanks, and we hope to enjoy the show, and looking forward to see you again. สวัสดีค่ะ